be the order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good morning and welcome to the November 6th Swanton County Board of Commissioners meeting. Normally, the first thing on our agenda is the opportunity for public comment. We're going to put that second today. Commissioner Weaver has a statement he'd like to make.
Sheriff, I want to apologize for you, or to you. Last meeting, I made kind of a pitch of parking in a handicap parking, and I have later discovered it was a law enforcement location, not a handicap parking. And obviously, I made a mistake, and I apologize for reading something out that wasn't true. So I hope you'll accept my apology.
I do accept your apology, and it's something that we take absolutely seriously. That any type of allegation like that, and I know that it stems to and it rolls into other things, what use of vehicles, things like that, and the use of our vehicles, and I hold our people absolutely responsible for those things. So we conducted an internal investigation, interviewed both the people that are assigned to those vehicles, interviewed them, went to Walmart, all the security options that Walmart has. We went through all of that. So it's one of those things where, and I will fight to the end for my people, and just as
Rightfully
you,
so.
and it's one of those things where it's absolutely one of it's paramount to us that our folks know exactly what the limitations of what they can do, what they can't do, and not to overstep those bounds. So I appreciate the public apology, and I do accept that, and I think that you've already made that approach, the officer that's involved, and I appreciate that as well. So with that, I'm okay with it, and and that spot is marked for law enforcement, and that, and state legislation also provides us relief as law enforcement when there are false accusations, things like that that are pitted against a person, especially when it's exonerated or it's something that they didn't do. So it's one of those things where we take it seriously, the state of Indiana takes it seriously, that I want my people to understand and know, and I think that the history at the sheriff's office has been in my tenure that we do look into everything that we do get complaints on, and that's just a part of it. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
You may have to pull some of these chairs out. Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, we'll move on to what's typically our first item on every agenda, and that's the opportunity for public comment. Just taking a wild guess, I think looks like there's quite a few people here today that normally aren't here, so I'm guessing there's going to be some comments that are going to be made. So before we start, we can agree on some ground rules. We want to keep it brief. We want to respect everybody's time that's here. We want to keep it professional, and let's not repeat something that somebody else has already said. Does that sound fair and acceptable? Okay, great. That being said, the floor is open, so whoever's first. Thank you.
Jordan. So good morning. Thank you for allowing me this time. My name is Christy Smith. This is my husband, Jim.
Good morning.
We have lived in here in Clinton County for a combined total of 64 years, and we love the people and the culture here. 10 years ago, we moved from our beloved home in Sedalia to just east of the Rossville town limits. We moved to the old Unger homestead, which you can see on there is our home, which was divided up from Unger Farms. And it's a 1.5 acre lot containing our house and barn. We moved there because our 4 children love the countryside and barn animals, especially horses, which allows them to participate in many Clinton County 4-H activities. It's a beautiful property in the country, and we have since added 2 additional acres to that. That's the total what we have. It's the old Unger farm, which is now Ceres Farms, It remains surrounding the house with 263 acres, and my home is in the middle of the field. Sirius Partners, which is a national investment group, owns many farmlands in Clinton County and nationwide. The CEO of this company, Perry Fife, states in the Land Report website that he views the solar industry as one of the most lucrative ways to use agricultural ground. It appears that his plan is to turn as much of Ceres farm ground as possible into solar use. So as you know, VW Solar has had a meeting with the town of Rossville about a proposed project surrounding my entire home called Furrows Project. We know no request has been filed yet and that there's no action that you can take yet, we know that. But I want to share my heart on this since VW Solar has already leased the land from Ceres Partners LLC as an option. I have many concerns about this, and I honestly don't see any good coming from it. As we as a nation learn more about the solar industry, we have found many unexpected problems with it. My first most concern is how living surrounded by solar cells will affect the health of my loved ones, my children, family, and neighbors. There simply hasn't been enough time or study to know what all the harmful effects may be, such as the quality of the air, temperature extremes, in the extreme heat in the summer, extreme cold in the winter, and thus increase in storms. A storm that breaks a solar panel could cause toxins to leak into the soil that might contaminate our well water supply. In addition, solar panels contain lithium, and lithium battery fires cannot be put out by water. So my home is located down a half-a-mile lane, rough gravel lane, and this lane is our only exit. So if there was a fire, our only escape would be blocked, or could be blocked. There would be no way for rescuers to reach us, and most likely we would perish. All of these have made me very concerned for the safety and welfare of my family and neighbors. Another health concern is the glare from the panels and the constant buzzing sound they make. These panels rotate following the sun, thus we would get glare from different angles all day long. They also put up extremely bright lights that shine all night. Several of us suffer from migraines, and glare and buzzing would only aggravate the headaches and health of those nearby. Also, I'm not convinced of the integrity of the solar companies, as they have layers of LLC and they change hands quite often, some ending up in the hands of foreign entities. Imagine if my family was surrounded by antagonistic foreign interests. Our sense of safety would be at risk. It has become evident that solar companies have made promises that they don't keep, such as promising to make the site not visible from the outside looking in, for example. In addition, the long-term damage to the very soil and landscape of our county is something that we want to prevent. There are many other ways that I can see that this location for this solar industry would not be good for the people of the town of Rossville. And those citizens here today in Rossville Red agree with me. But I won't get into those reasons now. I strongly urge you to vote no to this proposed Furrows Solar project on the east edge of Rossville if and when they file a request to build it. I would also like to invite you all to my house for a tour after the next commissioners meeting in 2 weeks to see the site and the location of my home. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you for answering your call to serve the people of Clinton County. Our county chose you, we appreciate you, and we rely on you as our elected officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So can you help me on this map? You don't have to come up here, but, well, if you want to. Fine. I'm trying to get my bearings.
Yeah.
So is this the old tractor dealership?
No, that's over here.
What's this?
This is Miller's.
Oh, okay, now I know where we're
Sticker
at.
26, yeah, this is Miller's, this is,
Okay, so is this just a lane?
yeah, that's my lane, that's my only exit.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is a little ditch here that leads to Rossville's
Okay.
water supply.
okay, thanks. All right, anyone else? No? Okay.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. So just to, I wasn't here at the last meeting, and so Mr. Weaver and, Commissioner Weaver and Commissioner Brewer made their statement on what they thought, or at least I watched the meeting, and it seemed as if that's what they did. So I'll just go ahead and let you know how I feel about it, since you all took the time to come here today. I don't want you to leave with any questions about where I stand. So this particular project, although we haven't seen anything from them yet, I don't like the fact that it's corporation that owns the land. So in past projects, for example, the one that's around Kilmore, that was a different story or a different situation to me because those were individual farmers that owned the land, and that's what they wanted to do with their land. So it was more easier for me to agree to that because that's what they wanted to do. They've owned that land. Some of their families have owned that land, like you said, for 60, 80 years. So, I've always been very staunch proponent of individuals' property rights. That's why it was easy for me to side with the farmers on that one and say, that's what you want to do with your land. Listen, okay, that's between you and the solar company. This, to me, is a completely different story because I don't know who Ceres Farms are. I don't care anything about their property rights because they're not one of my constituents. You are. So this is a totally different situation. So just right out of the gate, I'm not in favor of it. I don't like the way they've approached the situation. They did it the exact opposite of the way the previous company did. The first thing they did was they came and talked to myself and the county council president and said, hey, we just want you to know we're going to be in your county. We're going to be signing leases. This is why. So if you hear something this is who we are. So we've heard nothing from these folks. Never heard of VW Solar. And they kind of shot themselves in the foot because they went to the town of Rossville first instead of coming to us. Because this isn't in the town of Rossville, is it? No. So.
No, but it affects Rossville.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Because I'm kind of smack dab in the middle, and
Yeah.
I'm still concerned about my water supply.
Sure.
I have plenty of health issues already. I don't need any
Yeah,
more.
exactly. So anyway, not saying anything bad about VW Solar. They just aren't. They didn't do it the way last week. How about that? That's about as nice as I can say it. So, all right, so those are my thoughts. So, okay. Anyone else? All right. First on the agenda this morning is Melinda Grismer with the Learning Network Annual Report.
I'll pass them out up there if you want to pass them out around. As far as they go, just around the audience. That would be great. I thought you guys should have a hard copy. Oh, you guys, you might have one. Okay. You guys have one.
Commissioner, you
Yeah.
want to take time out and see if anybody wants to leave?
That's fine. Yeah, that's a good point, Sheriff. You folks are welcome to stay if you're interested in what's going on here with the county, or you're also welcome to get up and leave if you don't want to stay.
I just have one more question.
Yeah.
Mr. Weaver, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bert. I
No,
didn't.
that's- Actually, I too am not in favor of the situation. And again, there's many reasons that I feel like that we shouldn't move forward with this project if it ever comes to us. I would be opposed to it right off the bat. I don't know who the people are that are doing it. I have no idea if they're good people, bad people, but the situation is Clinton County, in my opinion, has done enough. We have a large solar farm already that's not even completed, and we have yet to see how that happens. I think we're way too far ahead. Our district, which is my district where the solar farm is going, District 1 has enough for our community and for our state. We have a large solar farm, we have a large landfill in District 1, and now another one. I don't believe our district is the place to come with another one. I think it is abusive at the north end of my community, and I'm not in favor of it.
Sure, thank you.
Okay. Does anybody want to leave? I'm not, you don't have to stay, but you're welcome to leave. I'm not trying to get rid of you either. I just trying to be respectful.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I think we are going to hit out Mark Cease. I just wondered, it's like a petition, when we get citizens to sign to help support our group. Is there a number that means something to you? You get 20 signatures, okay, it's 20 people out of whatever our population is. Does 1,000 signatures mean something?
Sure.
Does
Well, let me tell you.
5,000, what amount of citizens gets your attention?
This got my attention.
Yes.
I'm serious. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years.
What would get George?
And I can count on one hand the number of times we've had this many people here for something. And it's been wind farms, solar, the other solar farm. Everybody from the sheriff's department came up one time. And so that's about it. And so this is significant. This is an attention getter. You all took time out of your day to come to a county commissioners meeting, which typically is very boring. But you guys made it interesting today, so I appreciate that. So that's a great question. 1,000 signatures would be huge. So the impact this made is I had a pretty good idea of what was going to happen when I came in here today when I saw everybody dressed in red. So it was definitely an attention getter.
Good.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Based on what you said, it's gonna be boring, so.
I'm only speaking about my part. Everybody else is super interesting.
We got it memorized. Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Nice job, Chris.
I wish it was more.
Melinda, the floor is yours.
All right, I won't take long, but it'll be good that everybody's here too, just to hear a little bit about the Learning Network and what we do. So thanks for giving us just a few minutes to be here. I wanted to introduce two of my staff members who are here. So Anthony Bedos and Elvia Mora, if you would stand up, they are both our community health workers, and Anthony is our office manager. And we also have three community partners in the room. So Brett is a former Learning Network board member, Brett Barton, and then Rodney Wan, who's around the door, is one of we work together with the health department, and Ken from Wilo, we do a lot with Wilo as well, and Tim has helped us tremendously in the past with all of our connectivity issues at the Learning Network. So I feel like, there's already a lot of buy-in in the room, which is exciting. So hopefully everybody got a copy of our annual report. The thing I really wanted to point out, I'll go back a little bit to some of the programming, but I wanted to let you know on page 17 that we really do contribute a lot to the building in terms of trying to help with the upkeep and renovation. So we added a new back door to the building, and we also added new projectors in all of the rooms and projector mounts, and then new screens for those projectors in several of those rooms. We also have 30 laptops now for our learners. So one of the primary programs that we run, there's a lot of things we do. One of them is English as a second language, which has exploded this year. We had we probably had 125 people at our first night where we were doing all the testing, and we expect between 150 and 175 served by May. So we really do have, and that's about as much as we'd have more if we had more staff, honestly. So we have 6 teachers of English as a second language. That's up from 3 last year, and we're really trying to, we got a community foundation grant to help basically offset the cost. And we also receive money from the state of Indiana through a grant that is passed through the Lafayette Adult Resource Academy. So one of our primary programs is English as a second language, which is what those 30 laptops help with. But we also share those with Extension, and we pay for the computer lab in that building. So we've paid for that for the last, 20 years maybe. So that computer lab is a Learning Network investment. And we continue to look for ways. We just if you want to look at the first page of your report, the Summer Kids Workshops program, which is probably one of our most popular programs, we just got a Lilly grant to help subsidize that, which is really exciting. So Lilly Endowment they have a Strengthening Youth and Families program, and we were one of the recipients of that. So it's going to really help us for the next 3 years to expand. And a lot of that will be equipment investment in the Extension building itself. So all the chairs are really old and the tables are really old, so we're going to replace all of those. We've already enhanced the Wi-Fi, and so we continue to try to improve the building and be a helpful partner in that way. So that's one thing I really wanted to point out. And just a couple other things. If you're looking for places to go for medical interpretation, both of the staff that are with me here are trained medical interpreters. We have a bank of those that are helpful to the county. We have 15 now that are trained medical interpreters because of the programs we brought to Clinton County. And we've partnered with the health department in lots of ways. Lead poisoning is the current campaign that we're helping with that's through funding from the Indiana State Department of Health. On page 7, you can kind of see some of the report from previous grants in helping with COVID vaccination and testing. We also have a very robust citizenship program, that's on page 9. And that's funded partly by the United Way and also partly by the Indiana Commission for Hispanic and Latino Affairs. And we've had already this year 9 citizens go through the naturalization process, which is exciting, and we're going to continue to ramp that up. We have a program that you may or may not be familiar with called Plaza Comunitaria, which is helping those that are here that didn't get their elementary or middle school certificate from their country, mostly from Mexico. This is a Mexican program supported by the Mexican consulate. Helps them to get their elementary and middle school certificates so they can then continue to learn English as a second language. If you're not familiar, it's really hard to learn a second language if you have low level of education in your first language. So the idea is to bolster that first language simultaneously with teaching English so that it can be we call it the rapidity of acquisition. They can learn faster, basically, if they have more support in their first language that helps them with their second language. So we do a lot of work around that. We have a strong relationship with the Mexican Consulate of Indianapolis. And we do help a lot of people that come in and need translation, interpretation services. We also have the Clinton County Adult Education Program that used to be across the street from the superintendent's office. We now have that, and we are having more and more people all the time that are interested in getting their high school diploma. And we have a graduation ceremony every year. The mayor officiates for us in June at the library, and we tend to have close to 50 people a year that get their high school diploma in the county through that program. So just wanted to make you aware of a couple of things that we do. We also just, I will bring your attention to page 15 that kind of shows the history of the Learning Network and the cooperation with Extension and how it all started. But it started through gala fundraising. If any of you were around in the 2000s when we started raising money for the Learning Network, and then we just brought the gala back after 20 years. We had our first gala on Friday night, and we had about 125 people there, which was really exciting, and a lot of sponsorship from the community. So we have a new logo now. So if you see this, this is us. We've emphasized learn and work because that's really what we're about, learning and working. So we contribute a lot to the workforce of this county by helping the people that are here that don't speak English as a second language to continue to increase their education, continue to increase their level of English proficiency. So hopefully that's a helpful overview, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Well done.
All right.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, now I see it's 9:15. Yep, get the open snow bids. These are the bids.
I have some.
First bid is from Jason Smith. Best lawn here. So Jason, looks like we've got 2 bids here.
Yeah, you asked for a 1 year and 3 year.
Gotcha, thank you. And the one on top is the 3-year or the 1 year?
I believe 1 year on top.
1 year.
Yeah, it should say 20, 23, 20, 24 on your top.
I see it, yep. So for single year for property 1, courthouse and county parking lots, $270. Property number 2, board health, $118. Property number 3, probation office, $170. Property number 4, Purdue Extension, $280. Nickel Plate Flats, the county parking lot, $575. EMS at Fairgrounds, $130. EMS at Wellston, $98. And the county annex, whatever's needed there, it says it'll be covered under property line. Because there's nothing there yet.
Just a sidewalk on the
Yeah,
east
yeah.
side, which is.
So for the 3 years, it's a little different. It's a $261 drop, so property one is 136. I'm sorry, 261. Property two, 136. Property three, probation office 182. Purdue extension is 298. Property five, Nickel Plate Flats 609. Property six, EMS at the fairgrounds 138. EMS at Wellston 106. And the county annex when completed will be 488. Second bid. Okay, second bid is from Russell Trucking. Well, I see. They did bid it the same. So when we asked for bids, it was just per snow. It didn't matter how much snow. Yeah, right.
Did not matter.
Sorry.
Per event.
Per event, yeah, this is broken down by amounts. So we're gonna have to ask. We're gonna table these bids today anyway, because this is the first time we've seen them. Commissioner Brewer hasn't seen them either. So we'll have to ask. I don't know if you bid incorrectly, if that means you're out. Or we're gonna let him read that. So I don't know.
I make the motion that we table the bids and look into it so we can compare.
All right. Next on the agenda this morning is Rick Campbell, County Highway update. Morning, Rick.
Morning, sir.
We've been crack sealing some roads since the weather cooled off, and working on crack sealing roads and cutting some brush. We put those salt boxes in the piles in most of the trucks, still got some to do, ensure everything works. Bridge 67 is more or less done right now, but it should be open by the 15th.
Okay.
And Bridge 55, they closed it, and it'll be closed all winter. They're starting a demo on it. And we're going to replace a small bridge on 800 West the 13th of this month, and we should have it in a week. It shouldn't take any longer than a week to get it in.
Okay.
And we put signs up at the bridge letting people know it was going to be closed the week of the 13th or after.
Okay.
So that's all I got.
Any questions for Rick?
No, I'm good.
Thanks, Rick. Keep up the good work. Okay. Next, under old business, we have the Paul Phillippe quarterly report. Bert, did you get a chance to look at this?
I did not.
You did not? Okay, I'll let you look at that. It was on the drive.
I didn't see it.
Okay. So some of you don't know, Paul Phillippe provides transportation for our community, a lot of times free charge or for whatever vehicle donation. But they get federal reimbursement from the federal government for doing so. So that has to be a pass through Clinton County. We act as the grant agent. So every quarter we get a report saying what they've done, how much money they've taken in, and so on and so forth. So we serve only as a pass through.
Mr. Commissioner, I make the motion that we accept for 2023 their pass-through report, and I authorize you to sign the application grant.
All right, motion carries 2-0. Next on the agenda is new business. The first item we had on the agenda was our fire protection contracts with our fire detection monitoring company. But Commissioner Brewer's not here today, so we're going to table that. Is that okay?
Motion to table.
All right, motion carries 2-0, the table. We have a sign replacement request for St. Mary's, St. Vincent de Paul Society, Fall Bazaar Craft Show. They want to put a sign at the courthouse on November the 6th, started today, and they will take it out on November the 12th, they say. So,
Motion to accept.
all right, motion carries 2-0. Okay, department heads. Any department heads have anything this morning?
Just a couple quick updates. First off,
Yeah,
the best news ever.
yeah.
Cadence was released from the hospital. I went out. It is simply amazing. It's a miracle, a truly miracle. I told her that day, I said, I can't stop staring at you. Like, it was just truly amazing. She texted me the other night and she said, I'm sorry it's late, but I have to tell you, she was at her therapy and she said, I was able to walk without holding on to anything.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, so excited for her. And she's still got a ways to go, but she's here. And so very thankful for that. Very thankful. Yes, absolutely. So, yes. Two other quick things. So Motorola contacted me last week and the equipment is finally in for the backup that will be at Frankfort Police. So it's now been delivered to Raycom and they will get that installed in December. So that way we can, yes. So that way we can get that project finished and taken care of. And then lastly, next week, on Tuesday and Thursday, the 14th and 16th, I'm having IPSC come in. They're going to do 4 total classes. They're all the same, but just radio, just a good update, especially we've got lots of newer responders. And so they're going to do a 2 to 4 and a 7 to 9 on Tuesday and Thursday. And we're going to do that at the Frankfort Police at their training room. I've sent that out to all public safety department heads and encourage, people to please come. So we haven't done that in several years. So it's a good update for people and, talking about things that, you understand, Josh, like site trunking and things that, those things that, a lot of times kind of get overlooked with newer people. So I encourage everybody to send staff. So other than that, I don't have anything unless you have something for me.
No, I do have a question.
Yes.
When we were talking about, it's been a while. We were talking about the to-go, they were called to-go.
Yes,
Do we
Mevo
those?
to go. Yes,
Okay.
yes. So like if we would ever have to leave and go to Frankfort Police, we will deploy those. We will take those with us.
I got you. So that's
Yes.
part of it.
Yes. So 2 separate things. Those we purchased from Indigital, but those are our to-go kits for telephones. So
Got it.
we can do our 911s and admin and have those transferred to those.
Okay.
So,
That's
Yep.
my question.
Very good.
All right. Any other department heads? Brett?
Yeah, after last month's meeting, I didn't attend, but I learned about the ordinance on the expenditures over X amount of dollars that we do once a year.
Yeah.
I let Jerry know I am cutting a check over $10,000 a month for our GPS units.
Okay.
My board has approved that contract. I don't know if you guys need to get involved in that. Do I need to renegotiate that?
If I recall, let me refresh my memory because I wasn't here, but that ordinance takes effect January 1,
Yes.
2024, or was it immediately?
No, I think it was pretty much immediate.
Was it? Okay.
Try to
Okay.
start it right away. I don't know that immediate means this week or last week, I mean,
I know Jerry, you reached out to Jordan. Is
right
there
now.
any feedback on
You answered his
I answered?
questions, but
Okay,
I don't know that it was included in that, so.
I'd say you're good.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for
Also,
advising.
Bert and Nancy and I got together, we made a list of preferred services from the new CMHC possibly. Could I give you those?
Yes,
Just
that
what
would,
we're
that'd be
looking
great.
for?
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
I'd kind of like to reach out to you then, obviously,
Oh, absolutely.
arrange.
Yep, thank you.
Anything else, Brett?
That's all. Thank you.
All right.
Good, thank you.
Any other department heads?
I got a whole laundry list.
All right.
And I do, and I'm going to piggyback off of some of what Brett had. Work at the facility, at the jail, the glass is about 60% put in, and we're doing that with our own maintenance people that put the glass in. So that was one of the biggest things. Walk-in cooler, the dual cooling system that's, and I forget what it's called. But it's for the tech portion of the sheriff's office, for all the camera systems and everything else. That's being installed, should hopefully be finished up within today or tomorrow, getting that put together. As far as the other maintenance profit, the things that are being updated with the money that was left over, everything's moving right along fantastically. About the CMHC, in 2019, we had our own issues with Community Howard and with mental health care, things like that. And we moved forward with a medical company that handled the interior portion of the medical. And I know that it was more with council, and Clark Beard was a representative on that. And we kind of went round and round over that. Well, we definitely weren't getting the services that we needed walking into a brand new position. So that was replaced with our medical company that took care of our mental health inside. What I found over the last 5 years is that on the outside, when we release these inmates, they have to get the continued medical care. They have to get the Vivitrol shots. They have to get the mental health, because it's almost, I would say that a majority of our people that are inside the facility are dual diagnosed with mental health and addiction. So, and I think it's definitely coincides with each other. So when they walk out of the doors at 12:01 a.m., we need attention in an extremely expedient fashion so that we don't lose those folks to the addiction, to mental health issues, and to become right back in. So those are the things that I see now that are outside that an extreme difficulty to get happen without a walk-in facility, without the ability to get guidance and things like that within that 12 to 24 hours after their release. So it's really important. And I think Mr. Weaver, or Commissioner Weaver, you have that on your shoulders to kind of wade through. And we're here to help, because we need that mental health facility inside our community so that it can work with the rest of the addiction and mental health issues that we're seeing in the outside of our facility. So anything we can do, we're here for you.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your wife obviously reaching out to us. As you know, it's a large task.
It's huge.
And as it is right now, there are so many locations or businesses, or not businesses, but departments, et cetera, that utilize some sort of that operation.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, Carol and I are simply in the beginning stages. We've talked to some state people 2 or 3 times trying to get the lowdown on what we need to do first before we jump. But as you know, they've been failing us for quite some time, and we've all been concerned with, the present situation. And then, quite honestly, in January, I was under the impression by them that they were simply going to downsize. And, as you know, they have not downsized, they've simply moved out of county. Well, it's impossible for you to take people over to Tipton all the time, and it's impossible for some of our other people to drive there. It's impossible to do a lot of FaceTiming. There's a lot of people that need assistance, but yet don't have the ability to get on the computer and then FaceTime their counselor, which in my opinion is worthless.
Absolutely.
Of all types, it's okay for me to say I got the flu and here's my symptoms and do that by phone, but it's not okay for somebody who's having mental distress and mental problems. In my opinion, it's a face-to-face, hold on, kind of build up a relationship, etc. So long and short is we're really working on it, but it's a big thing. And then Mr. Yoots pointed out, which is what we were feeling also, we're simply going to get some of the information to get us to start. And then my opinion is that we'll have to have a large group of people who, are players in it to help us then kind of go through and figure out which one's which. So it's sadly to say work in progress, but we have been meeting. In fact, I had quite some time with the hospital organization just a couple of days ago. And it's just feeling out what can they do, what they cannot do, et cetera. Because as the list I just got here has a lot of things that we need to address. And it'll be interesting to find which those are. So.
Well, I appreciate it. And, and it's anything, we are here to help at the sheriff's office. And I think every other involved, people in the community from I know Healthy Communities and everybody else, we have to make this happen. We have people that reoffend, come back in, and within 15 days, 10 days, they're back on their medication, they're back to getting mental health counseling, and it's like a different person.
Yeah.
And so these
Well,
folks
they're
are,
with you guys.
yes, and then we turn them back loose, and they have nowhere else to go, and they go back downhill, and then we get them back. So it's one of those things that, as a community, you know, it's our responsibility to do the best that we can, and rattle doors, and, you know, and it's not to create strife amongst the elected officials or anything else, or any other group. It's, we've got to have this, because we're losing people to overdoses, we're losing people to suicide, you know, and, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen in our community, but may.
Right.
We just had probably the worst individual violence, you know, perpetuated onto a community in the United States. And we got to do our best to keep that from happening in our community. And I think mental health is, you know, probably more so today with inflation and different things and all the outside stressors. We've got to work for these people. We've got to put our heads together and get this done as soon as possible. And I know we can get it done because we're very accountable.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sharon. Any other department heads? No? Okay. Commissioner Weaver, do you have anything to report?
Well, just briefly, I went to the annual dinner for the mental health community services, and also Rodney. And Rodney did a very nice job giving his annual report of the Board of Health and so forth last week. And then we were presented with a plaque that I'll present next commissioners meeting to both of you, that simply represented the partnership that we had with that organization, and we were chosen as an organization. And I think we were chosen because we participate in money, so, you know, I'm not sure, you know,
Sure.
but it was a nice situation, and I'll present it next week or next month.
Anything else?
That's it.
No? Okay. All right, we'll move on to claims. Do I have it? Thank you.
So,
Okay, we have claims dated Friday, October 20th, 2023, in the amount of $1,270.08.
motion to approve claims.
Any second, motion carries 2-0. I have Friday claims dated October 27th, 2023, in the amount of $36,697.43. Friday, I'm sorry, I'll read them all.
Yeah,
I'm
get them all.
a little rusty, it's been a while since I've done this.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. So we have Friday claims. We also have Friday claims dated November 3rd, 2023, in the amount of $24,156.65. Bi-weekly claims dated November 6th in the amount of $845,598.48. And we have court claims dated on November the 6th, 2023, in the amount of $24,890.45.
Motion to approve claims.
Okay. Motion carries 2-0. We have payroll dated October 6th in the amount of $481,525.58, and October 20th in the amount of $510,324.27.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion carries 2-0. We have no minutes today to go on. So is there anyone else that has anything for us today before we close the meeting? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Okay, motion carries 2-0, meeting adjourned.